to Utokk, who has discovered that, they just love poking the bear. They know they don't dare contact the Pale King.
Howdy, NearlySeniorCitizen here. Greetings, boys, girls. Hello, and I'm gonna rephrase.
Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day, son of a gun. It is kind of grayish and diffuse light outside, but it's not raining, and that's a good thing. I went walkies last night, and though it was very, very overcast, it didn't rain. So, I mean, the rain is nice, just not all the time. So, that's a good thing. And I slept much better than I slept the previous night, and that too is a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up on that. With, there's a kitty fight going on outside. Hopefully it's not my kitty cat involved. My ADHD has gotten better with the use of my taking Strattera, and that is a very good thing. Amelia just came in the window, and she has a fluffy tail, so you need to stay over here, kitty. Hokey smokes. Thumbs up for that. Thankfully, no actual fighting out there. But now that I've been saying my ADHD is better, first front loading of videos. Yay, kitty, you distracted me by coming in the window. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that's how it goes. That would be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that too would be a thumbs up. If you could also leave me a comment, that would be very awesome. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people that are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome. The cost of living is outpacing the increases in my disability, and without these people's help I would be hosed like a literal Christmas monkey. So thank you, each and every one of these people. If you'd like to become a patron and help me out, there are links in the video description, and if you could check that out, that'd be cool. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal link, and if you'd like to help me out without sending cash, there's an Amazon wishlist link with a whole bunch of cat food on it. So if you could check that out, that'd be awesome. Front loading of videos over. Yes, indeed, Strattera is working very, very well for my ADHD. I don't know that it's working as well as Ritalin, but in some cases it's working better. My time blindness is largely gone. A 24-hour day takes 24 hours. That's amazing. Even on Ritalin, I didn't get that all the time. By the end of the day, that was starting to be slipping. Here, I got to get close to the end of a 24-hour, well, not 24-hour period, but the end of like a 16, 17-hour period before I start to feel it starting to slide a little. So that's cool, and I am able to remember more and think better and concentrate better. I am also taking guanfacine, half a guanfacine tablet at the same time to keep my blood pressure down, and that seems to be working right now. Unfortunately, the side effect of that is sleepiness, and along with my insomnia, so it doesn't necessarily have to do with the guanfacine, but I keep falling asleep. Luckily only for like 15-20 minutes at a time, and then I'm up and running afterward again. So very, very cool. Definitely a thumbs up on that. It's getting a lot warmer anymore. It feels very warm and humid in here this morning. I've had a box fan running over near the window. I got my window open wide, and it's going to have to start getting open wider. Which means I need to get some sort of mesh to put over most of the window, because usually I have bugs galore coming in. I put over all sorts of things, and I try to close off window parts, but it doesn't always work, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully. Past that, not a whole lot happened over the weekend, because it was in fact a weekend. I just did a whole lot of sitting, playing games, listening to music, watching videos, falling asleep for short periods of time, and then doing things again. And then going out for walkies, and then coming back and just relaxing until it was time to go to bed, and then starting the whole cycle over again. So thumbs up on that. Now let me check my list here to see if there's anything at all that I wanted to talk about, because there were, it's just I can't remember what they are. Yay on that. One of them, of course, is my shirts drive me crazy. Part of where I am on my particular autism spectrum is symmetry is super important to me for reasons that of course are just absolutely ridiculous. So when my shirt is like pulled more to one side and I can't get them to line up, that just drives me crazy, and it's not a good feeling. It's the same thing. I've mentioned this years back, but it's still true now. The feeling of wrinkled cloth against my skin is absolutely horrific. That is a texture that, oh my God, makes my skin crawl. So when I put on a t-shirt like this, and then I put this shirt over the top of it, the undershirt wrinkles up. And that is just a horrible, horrible, horrible feeling. So I have to struggle to keep myself non-anxious while I unruffle and untangle the fabric of the undershirt until it gets smooth again and the wrinkles are gone. Ugh, you gotta love that. Past that, I can't really think of a whole lot that's happened that I wanted to that I wanted to talk about. I've done a lot of thinking over the weekend because it's nice to be able to think. Some of it just totally inconsequential, some of it about things that I do think are important, but a lot of it was just engaging in thought because I could. And even though some of the subjects were things that I would have liked to have remembered, I didn't struggle and fight to remember them so that I could talk about them because I was just enjoying the sensation of thinking. So I don't have a ton of things that I want to talk about aside from I'm going to spend most of my time yammering about the creative part of things because I am really liking the character Utokk. And when I say like, I mean, as a human being, if it was an actual character, I hate that thing. You know, I am of the potential pool of victims. I don't like what it does to people. It is a horrific monster. I don't like it. As an author and creator of this stuff that I'm working on, Utokk is absolutely brilliant and I love them. Very, very much. Just because they are right now engaging in a whole bunch of stuff that is not good for everyone else, but they're still having a positive character arc. And I am finding that bit of cognitive dissonance going on there to be fun to explore and play with. Now, one of the things I had mentioned that Utokk does when they build bodies is there's a socket and a slot, and then you can do two things with that slot when you push in, when Utokk pushes in energy. If they push in enough, there's quantum knotting that mixes with that energy to form a new and unique pattern that is not self, but not self. And so that bit of dissonance between it is not prey, but it is distinct from me. And Utokk just finds these beings infinitely satisfying. Not entertaining, satisfying. They're not being amused by watching, they're being satisfied. And when something is amusing, it's like, oh, you're learning. Which is very odd for Utokk, of course, because they spent the first third of their existence as a totally selfish, me-oriented being that would run at the slightest hint of even being detected. Being an ambush predator, you have to. If you're detected, you gotta leave. But it's more than that. That was wrapped up into the mental stuff because they are very, very powerful and smart. But it's only recently that they've realized that they have achieved physical maturation, and with that is the growth and space for emotional and mental growth. Now, one of the things and reasons that they talk to, and are open to contact from the King in Crimson is because the King, as a bear, is infinitely pokeable. And one of the things that Utokk is finding they really enjoy doing is poking the bear. Seeing what sort of reaction that you get. You may have to run. You may get injured. You may get badly hurt. but poking the bear is worth it in the long run. And the King in Crimson is just infinitely pokeable. They get pissed off, you just sort of wait. Now there is the other ruler, a big one, the Pale King, ruler of the Pale Domain, the second of the 3 big domains that there are on the inside that you can reach from the crossroads. Utokk knows not to screw with the Pale King, and not for reasons that you would think. You know, they are more powerful than the King in Crimson, but they are far more rigid and unbending in their thinking and the way they do things. You can easily cause affront and insult by not using proper decorum when you are speaking to the Pale King. To Utokk, who has discovered that, they just love poking the bear, they know they don't dare contact the Pale King, because the urge to poke the bear would be so strong. They wouldn't just be poking the bear, they would be putting an air horn in the bear's sleeping ear and pouring water on the bear's head when it's trying to wake up, and putting near sticks of dynamite fireworks inside of the bear's bed when it's trying to sleep. They wouldn't be able to resist poking that bear. And that would be conceivably bad. The Pale King is, again, more powerful than the King in Crimson, and while the Utokk is more powerful than the King in Crimson, it's, again, ambush predator. Your best attack is that way, is when it's unseen, unheard, unknown, and then zap. So out and out poking the bear to the point that the bear will try to kill you is not conducive to continued survival. So the Pale King may be contacted through other means, but no, Utokk will contact the Pale King just to poke the bear. The Pale King. The King in Crimson just to poke the bear. The King in Crimson because they need information, or they just, out of a sense of, I don't know why I'm doing this, warning and such to Utokk. Boy, I can speak English, I promise. They keep that up, which leaves room for Utokk just to be infinitely amused. There's more than that. Also, when with the meat robots talking about, since I suddenly jumped around, Bigly, when Utokk puts it in that information and these beings become sentient and sapient because of that, I had also mentioned how you can make meat robots, and how one of the characters that Utokk would make, Zen, Zenna Tanny, who goes by Zen, she was taken apart molecule by molecule and just devoured as everybody else is. But Utokk was just able to put her back together molecule by molecule, but it's not putting her back together. He's just building a new meat body that is molecularly identical to her, where she's dead. Utokk ate it. And then when you push in that energy that's less than the amount to give quantum nodding, they may seem like real people, but they're not. They're just meat robots. They'd mix in and fit in with human society, and we would never know, but they are running through a general sense of path of least resistance going through life. They don't make actual choices. There is a sort of current that's running through time. They are following that path, and it's just every time there is a choice to make, it's path of least resistance taken, just like electricity does. It's just that path of least resistance is 99.9% of the time exactly identical to every single choice that a normal human being would make. So they're impossible to detect as not real from our side, but if you can detect the quantum nodding, then yeah, you can see that instantly. Now, afterward, with the body of Zen, what would Utokk do with that flesh robot? Well, it's already there. It's already got the energy in it. Why throw it out? Why get rid of it when you can just take a little bit more and go squidge, and then pooey, quantum nodding, and then they become a real person. Real in a sense, because after all, they have no need to breathe. Their bodies are dead. They have no need to eat. Taking food into their dead bodies would not be good. They have no need to drink. Taking liquids into their dead bodies is not good. They have none of the physical requirements for existence that we have. Their lives are incredibly different, even though they're still human, with quantum knotting that makes them human. We wouldn't be able to understand them just instantly because they have such different physical requirements from us. But they're still alive and people. There's more I want to talk about, but I'm going to have to come on to this tomorrow, so hopefully people are still interested. Hopefully you are still watching, and if you are, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. I also have opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never a huge amount anymore, but you know what? Anything more than 0 is awesome. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I can't American Sign Language, well, even with ADHD meds, my brain is never going to be 100%. I'm only going to be like 2/3 of normal. So perfection is not going to be in the cards. Wasabi covered nuts, thank you very, very much, and that certainly was a comment. Frank Gallagher, thumbs up, and Hokey Smokes. And we have Sarge 778 return CODM, which is a good idea, but I'd have to get help. Brent Joshivama, Joshevama, thumbs up, and Oblivion is good. ARF, thumbs up, and thank you. Jesse Koskinen, greatly appreciated, and I'm having fun playing the game. It is cool. Eric Southard, thumbs up, and thank you very much. Vivi, thumbs up, and I wish I was good at gaming. I'm just enthusiastic at gaming, but thank you. Lana M, and oh, Hokey Smokes. That one restaurant, if you are watching that one restaurant, it's not even a restaurant anymore. Shelton is so different. And we have Kryptonite, thumbs up, and thank you for the information. I have to remember that it is the soul gems that refilled my magical items. I got a big hunk of metal on a stick that needs recharging. JAYY, thumbs up, and thank you. Lucas, greatly appreciated. We have Floramu, thumbs up, and thank you. There is Ben B, thumbs up, and Ice Damon, greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. I also did get, and I wanted to say this too, I got a package from Psycho Jazz, a box from Amazon with 2 containers of hamster paper bedding. Thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you each and everybody who left me comments. Thank you. Oh, my brain is still not perfect. Psycho Jazz, thumbs up, and thank you so very, very much. Each and every one of you that helps me out, whether you leave comments or you send me things, you get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and that is definitely a thumbs up on that. I am socially withdrawn. I am socially awkward. I have social anxieties. I have ADHD. I am on my own particular autism spectrum. I am alone, but not lonely. I am separate, but not isolated. But it is still nice to interact with human beings. Thank you. And of course, I got things that I'm going to try and get done today, but if I can't, I'm not going to beat myself up about it because survival is more important than that. If you have things that you need to get done, hopefully you can get them done, but if not, don't beat yourself up about it. Survival is more important than that. And speaking of survival, with the covfefe bug still raging and it's surging and spiking again in the US, please take the appropriate precautions for your area. Get vaxxed if you haven't been. Get a booster if you can. Hokey smokes, do not throw your body onto the corpse pile before you need to. We're all going to end up on the corpse pile at some point. But don't throw yourself on it before you have to. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great date today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I do think that is a very good idea.